Hello everyone, my name is Raven, and for today's video I wanted to make a quick guide or a quick combat guide to help you finish your quests faster and make your hunt as efficient as possible. Now please bear in mind that I am not doing this to tell you that this is the only way to play the game. These are merely some tips that I do for myself, and they help me do more damage and they help me finish the hunts quicker and make it as efficient and as smooth as possible, especially if I'm fighting something difficult. And also, please keep in mind that I will be showing some end game areas and some end game monsters. So if you haven't gone to high rank or if you're still in the early game, there will be some spoilers ahead. So please be careful. And yeah, let's get started. Okay, now, so the way that I make my hunts go faster or be more efficient at them is I try to create or by creating as many damage windows as I can. Now, what I mean by damage window is, or a damage opportunity is that moment in the hunt where you stun a monster or you trap it, or the monster is unable to move, therefore it can't attack you or it can't interrupt you, and you're able to unleash your hardest hitting moves. Let's say you're a great sword guy and basically unleashing your two charge slash. If I am a switch axe main, unleashing the unbridled slash. So yeah, unleashing the hardest hitting moves without having to worry about the positioning of the monster, or if they move, or if they attack you. So that's what I mean by damage windows or damage opportunities. And I try to create as many of these as possible per hunt. Now, every hunt is different. Every area I fight the monster in is different. So some hunts I will have more, sometimes I will have less. But yeah, generally I try to create these to allow me to finish the hunts faster. Now there are two ways, or two ways ish. There are three ways, but the third way doesn't always work. So the two ways that I normally rely on, and I will show them now. Now, the first way that I create these opportunities to do more damage is by using the environment around me and using the environment to your advantage. In every area you hunt and every fight you see, or every fight you start, look around you and see if you can spot any traps or any things you can interact with to damage the monster. Now, there are two things or two ways. Some of them will do damage to the monster, and some of them will basically just trap them or immobilize them for you to do damage. Now, I like the first ones because the first ones deal great amount of damage and they allow me as well to attack the monster after that. So I look for this the most. And also, I look for the second one. If I'm fighting something aggressive, something that moves a lot, then I look for the area around me to see if there's like a vine trap, or if there is something like a great thunderbugs during certain times of the hunt. If I'm fighting in the first area, for example. So I use these to my advantage to create damage windows. And if I don't have any of these, then I look for the toads, like the sleep toads, the paralysis toad, to allow me to immobilize the monster and, dish out as much damage as I can. Yeah, so this is the first way. And sometimes if I'm fighting in an area where it doesn't have anything, I tend to use my own traps if I'm fighting something that's giving me a hard time, or something that is moving a lot, or it's aggressive, and I'm not able to attack it. So yeah, I will drop my own traps. Sometimes if you're playing with the AI companions, sometimes they will also drop traps. And also your Palico will drop traps. So basically just lure the monster to it, and you have your damage window over there, and just go crazy. Yeah, so this is tip number one on how to create your damage window for you. For the second way, which is actually really similar to the first one, which is to use sleep or paralysis. So if you're playing with a bow, or if you're playing with a bowgun, I believe you have sleep ammo, so you can put the monster to sleep, and then you can do the wake up attack, which does more damage than anything, more damage than normal. So you can do the wake up attack and make sure it's the hardest hitting move, and that's one way to do damage. Or you can use paralysis on your weapon, and you have your damage window right there. And if you don't want that, if you don't want to have a paralysis weapon or sleep, you can actually give your Palico sleep weapons or paralysis weapons, and they will proc it minimum once per game, once per hunt. It depends if the monster is weak to it. If they are weak to it, they will do it twice. But I've only seen sleep proc once so far. I've seen paralysis proc twice on monsters who are weak to it. So yeah, this is another way if you want to create a damage window for you is by using paralysis or sleep. Now to the third one, which I have to admit, it doesn't work all the time. But sometimes when you fight monsters and you break their parts, especially tempered monsters, you will have something called, they will drop something called battle remains, or they will drop like heavy slicing slinger ammo, heavy slicing pods. So if you use these, they will do damage to the monsters. But sometimes if you're fighting something that flies, like let's say that flying carpet in the third area or in the snowy area, when you break its tail or when you break its claw, it will drop a slinger ammo. And if you use it correctly, I think if you aim it at their face, I believe, they will drop. So that's a damage window for you. Or you can use my favorite, which is flash pods. If you're fighting something annoying, something that flies 24/7, you can use that to your advantage. The third one, I don't normally do it most of the time. I use the first one most because every time I go to an area when I'm fighting something, like 70% of the time I see there's a trap to drop or there's a boulder to drop at the head of the monster. I don't get it all the time. Sometimes I try to loot the monster, but it doesn't happen. But when it happens, yeah, it gives me an opportunity to do my hardest hitting moves, to kill the monster as fast as possible. These are these are not going to help you all the time. You still need to learn the patterns of the monsters, the moveset of the monsters. These are just some tips that you can apply on the side. You also keep in mind you have to have a good build. In the early game, it doesn't matter that much. But if you are in the end game and if you're starting to farm tempered monsters, then yeah, this will help you. But you have to have a good build at the start, and these will just be like a supplementary tips to use. I hope you learned something. I hope you use these and they help you in your hunt. And if I miss something, please leave it in the comment section. If I make a mistake or if I say something wrong, some wrong information, please correct me down there in the comment section. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed and thank you for watching. And as always, happy hunting.